Hey, how goes it, everybody? I am the world famous Fat Kid, and we are finally here. Week one of the 2024-25 NFL season. So, it is a little over 24 hours away. Let's get these games in. Let's get these picks in. So, first and foremost, we're going to start with Baltimore and Kansas City rematch of the AFC title game last year. And I don't see a lot changing, honestly. Yes, Baltimore got King Henry. The Chiefs dropped Kadarius Toney recently. They picked up the Xavier Worthy, I believe it was. They drafted him, I should say. Sorry, whatever. But I think it's going to be the same result. KC is going to end up out on top. I mean, they're playing at home. I know there's a stat going around that the last I think it's 4 or 5 Super Bowl champions have lost week one, including Kansas City last year, but I don't see that happening this time. I think Baltimore's gonna they're gonna Baltimore. They'll still be good, but it's 2 playoff teams playing each other. I'm going with Kansas City. No excuses for Baltimore. If they win, I'm not going to be surprised, but my preseason pick was KC. So then next, we are looking at Green Bay and Philadelphia in Brazil. And I believe that is Friday. So we're going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday off for all you college fans, and then Sunday. So that's a pretty good start of the week. Green Bay going up against Philly. Green Bay's retooled their offense. I mean, got rid of Aaron Jones, but picked up Josh Jacobs. Love started playing lights out last year. Watson, Reed. Philadelphia picked up Saquon Barkley, got rid of Swift. They still have A.J. Brown. The defenses, granted, I'm not going to pick out a lot of names because I don't know a lot of names on the team's defenses. I know names on my team's defense, but of course, I'm a Raiders fan. Of course, I'm going to know their names. Anyway, I think Green Bay is going to come out. They've got something to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. Philly, they should have something to prove, but I think they're going to fall flat. They're going to take a little bit of time to gel. Green Bay is going to get the win in Brazil. So, we're moving on to Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Atlanta gets to show off their new fancy, shiny quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Pittsburgh gets to show off their fancy, shiny new quarterback in Russell Wilson. Pitt going up against Atlanta. Kirk Cousins is going to have some weapons, but I think same issue. It's going to take a little bit of time to gel. They're both going to have that issue. See, this is real time talking it out. Even though I picked Pittsburgh, I'm almost trying to talk myself out of it and pick Atlanta. But I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with my brain from all the looks that I've had at the schedule. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, okay? Pittsburgh taking out Atlanta week one. Then we got Arizona going into Buffalo. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Buffalo, Josh Allen. I don't know why I'm humming and hawing over this. I think Buffalo's going to win. They have the better defense. They don't really have a wide receiver to my knowledge, but Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook. I think Buffalo gets the win. It's going to be a close game, but Buffalo wins. So now we move on to Tennessee and Chicago. Tennessee and Chicago. I think Chicago comes out and just wipes the floor with Tennessee. I don't see Tennessee being a very good team this year. Obviously, if you've watched my preseason records predictions, I think I had Tennessee with only 2 wins. This is not one of those wins. Chicago, they're going to come out high-powered offense. Maybe. I still don't know about their offensive line, but I think Chicago gets the win at home. It's Caleb Williams' home debut, his NFL debut. He's going to be jacked. Chicago gets the win, and it's not going to be by a low margin. I think it's going to be at least 13 points. I'm not good with the point predictions, by the way. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, moving on to New England and Cincinnati. So, New England struggled last year. New head coach, new quarterback. Cincinnati wins. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, Chase. I don't know if Higgins has re-signed or anything. None of my business. I still think the team's good enough to win. Cincinnati beats New England. Then, moving on to Houston and Indianapolis. The Colts, Texans-Colts, division battle. Houston, if they can keep up the momentum they had last year, they win. Anthony Richardson coming in. He's going to be good, but I don't see it happening week 1 against the Houston Texans. So, taking Houston in this one, it's not as much of a coin flip or tough decision as I'm making it out to be. I think Indy will be decent, but they're not going to beat Houston here. So, Houston Texans get the win week 1. Then we move on to Jacksonville. Going into Miami, Jacksonville should be fighting for a wild card spot. Not saying they're going to make it. They should be right there. Just like they were last year, and then they choked it away. Miami will be a playoff team. My predictions, they were the 7. I think Miami starts out hot, and they just hit the ground running. I mean, they've got all the track speed in the world. Miami gets the win in Jacksonville. Now, moving on to Carolina and New Orleans. So that is... Carolina's bad. I think I heard on a radio show Carolina 6 wins, and somebody even said that they're going to win the division. No way. No chance. New Orleans is going to get the opening day win. They're at home. The entire team has something to prove. The Saints can't be that bad again. Not with that top 15 defense and Derek Carr. Yes, I'm still a Derek Carr fan. He's better than what he showed last year. He also played hurt. Whatever, that's excuses. New Orleans gets the win week 1. Next, moving on to the most cursed team in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings taking on the New York Giants. So, even with no real number 1 quarterback, and it being Sam Darnold, whatever, they're going to be better than the Giants. The defense is a little iffy. The run game, they're going to have to rely on that the most, even with Justin Jefferson. But the Giants, Daniel Jones, I don't even know who they have at running back. I don't know who they have. Darius Slayton, I think, is who they got for wide receiver. Their defense is poor. Minnesota should, I'm not going to say easily win, but they should have the game in hand. Whether they choke it away or not, that's up to them. Right? Right. So, next up we got the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers. So, I'm just going to come out and say it. Vegas should get the win. I could see them losing this game because They're always slow at the start of the year. They'll go like 2-3 in the first 5 games, and then they'll hit a little bit of a hot streak. I hope that's not the case. I hope we come out of the gate running. The Chargers, offensively, Gus Edwards, Justin Herbert. That's really all I got. They have a lot of aging stars on the defense. Their new shiny head coach, who always takes a couple years to make a playoff team. I have to go with the Raiders. They're the underdog, technically, this week. I don't care. I'm going to be a homer this week. Deal with it. Next, moving on to Denver and Seattle. Got the Broncos and the Seahawks. So, they're both trying to find their identity. I don't know, is Geno Smith still the QB in Seattle? Whatever. I see Seattle winning this game. It's going to be kind of close because Denver has a very good defense. They have explosive players on the offense. But that strength against strength, I think Seattle wins. It's going to be close. It's going to be a good one. Again, Seattle wins. Next, Dallas going up against Cleveland. Now, this should be a fun game because Dallas has a lot of weapons on offense. Lamb just signed a big contract, I believe. Cleveland had a very good defense. That's like their bread and butter. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I see Dallas getting the win, though. Cleveland's offensive ineptitudes are going to be too much for them to get the win opening day or opening weekend. It should be close. Again, I'm not real good at gauging that stuff, so take it for what you will. Next, we're moving to Washington and Tampa Bay. Washington totally revamped. Tampa Bay coming in with a playoff team. I'm going to say Tampa Bay. Washington will learn. They'll get better as the season goes. Tampa Bay is ready to roll right now. Tampa Bay gets the win. They start the season 1-0. Baker Mayfield getting a little more on his resume. He should have a good game. I'm going to throw out 275, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, don't quote me if it's wrong, please. Okay. Next, we move on to the Rams and the Lions. So, again, 2 playoff teams. They played last year. Detroit beat them. This is Stafford. Stafford going into Detroit for the playoffs. Whatever. It's going to be 2 relatively even-matched offenses. It's where the defense comes in that's going to make the big difference. Detroit has the better defense. I'm sorry. I'm leaning towards Detroit. I'm picking Detroit. Deal with it. So that leaves us with the New York Jets and the San Francisco 49ers. So we're closing it out with the Monday Night Football. Jets, Niners. I got to say, I'm on the Niners wagon. Like, they didn't have a Hopefully they won't have a Super Bowl hangover. They've got the pieces. They just need to make that step. The Jets look really good on paper. I think this week 1 will tell us a lot. I think San Francisco is going to be too much for Rodgers. He always struggles against San Francisco. Maybe New Jersey, maybe new result. I don't know. But there we go. That's my picks. I'll throw it up on screen here. My actual things that you can follow. And with that being said, that's it for week 1. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you next week. Everybody, have a good one. Till next time, see ya.